Hey, let's get into it. When you live in an apartment building, you obviously don't own the whole place, so you don't get to control every decision. Um, you don't get to choose the exterior paint colors or the parking rules. You don't get to choose the landscaping, and you definitely can't decide how every neighbor should behave, but you still have responsibilities. You can't leave trash in the hallways or blast music at midnight. You can't ignore the people around you just because the building ultimately isn't yours. You might not own the place, but you still live there, and how you live there affects other people around you. And I think that helps us understand what Peter wants to say here in 1 Peter 2:13 to 14. Be subject for the Lord's sake to every human institution, whether it be to the emperor as supreme or to governors as sent by him to punish those who do evil and praise those who do good. Peter has just reminded the Christians earlier that they are sojourners and exiles. They're foreigners. This world is not their final home. And that their deepest allegiance is not to any emperor or ruler or party or system or even culture. Our ultimate allegiance is that we belong to God. But Peter doesn't use that as an excuse for carelessness. He doesn't say, since this world is not your home, ignore society, and just do what you want. He says, instead, be subject for the Lord's sake to every human institution. It's pretty serious. Peter is calling Christians to live as good citizens, uh, not because every authority is perfect, or because every government is righteous, and not because every ruler deserves unquestioning loyalty, but for the Lord's sake. Our submission to proper authority is part of our witness about Jesus. It shows that Christians aren't people of chaos and rebellion and selfishness. We are people who honor God, and because we honor God, we seek to live responsibly in the communities where He's placed us, wanting the best for those communities that we live in. Peter mentions the emperor and governors, and you remember those were not Christian leaders. Far from it. And they were definitely not always fair, and they certainly weren't always kind to believers. But Peter still tells the church to live honorably within society. It means that our faith should make us better neighbors and not worse. It should make us better students and better employees. We should be people who tell the truth, keep our word, pay what we owe, obey just laws, that we should respect authority and seek the good of the place where we live. Our allegiance to heaven doesn't remove our responsibility here on earth, and it actually kind of deepens them, because we're not mainly trying to prove a political point. We're trying to honor Jesus. Of course, this doesn't mean we obey human authority when it commands us to disobey God. The apostles themselves, they said that we must obey God rather than men. But the ordinary posture, the everyday posture of the Christian life should not be that of defiance for the sake of defiance. It should be humble, honorable, faithful. Peter says the authorities are meant to punish those who do evil and praise those who do good. So Christians should be known for doing good, not stirring up unnecessary trouble, not being reckless with our freedom, and not acting like this social responsibility is beneath us. Because living in such a way that people can see that our faith and our integrity shapes how we act is of the utmost importance for our witness. Yeah, this world is not our home, but while we're here, we're called to live well, to belong to God's kingdom. And because we do, we should be the kind of people who bring honesty and peace and responsibility and goodness into the places that God has put us. We have a responsibility to live well in our community, wherever you find yourself. God goes with you today.